If you loved my recent video on time blocking, you're going to want to stick around for this deep dive into my weekly block schedule using Google Calendar. In this video, you're going to learn how to implement a system that's going to work for you and your family so that you can function with less chaos. I'm Lauren Golden here with a new episode of Free Mama TV, showing moms like you how to start and run a successful freelancing business from home. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new episode of Free Mama TV right here every Tuesday. I work from home, and so I have a lot on my plate. I do YouTube, I run a freelance and coaching program, and host an online community with nearly 20,000 women while managing a team of 8. Plus, I have 3 small active children and a husband. So how do I do it? For those of you that follow me, you know I live and die by my Google Calendar. And because of this, I'm in better communication with my family, my team, and my work clients. We are in sync, literally and figuratively, which allows us all to be more aware, proactive, and productive. Today, I want to go in detail on my calendar and how I use weekly block scheduling to plan ahead. Let's dive in. This is my Google Calendar live and in person. And as you can see, it is about 12:30 while I'm recording this, which means I'm right on track. For those of you familiar with the concept of time blocking, as you can see, it says record YouTube. I'm right on top of things. The first thing I want to show you about my Google Calendar is that I try to plan out as far as possible. So if you see that I'm clicking out, you can see I'm already in August. I've got stuff on my calendar. Even if we go into September, you can see that I already have things on there. Now, of course, some of these are recurring events, which is great. So you can see we go to church on Sunday. I put that on my calendar. Why? It means it's going to happen. I have a couple of fitness classes that I like to attend. So for those of you who struggle with self-care, put it on your calendar. It's literally the best way to get things done. So if we come back into lifetime, there's a couple things that I want to show you as far as how I manage my Google Calendar and how it makes me and my family more productive. The first thing that I want to show you is the color coding. One of the things I love most about Google Calendar is that it's super visual, which means that you can and should color code so that upon first glance, you know what you're looking at. Anything in yellow on here is something that's for my family. It's something that is either for myself to go do, something that my family is doing, time that we're spending together, going to pick up groceries. I like to order my groceries online and go pick them up because I'm a huge fanatic with outsourcing and making things as simple as possible. And I don't enjoy going to the grocery store with 3 small children. Going to the chiropractor would be in yellow. Hanging out with my kids at the pool, if you saw that on Monday. Yes, I put it on my calendar because we left our house. We went somewhere. It required planning and effort. And the fact that it was on my calendar made sure that it was going to get done. For me, I use green for any time that I'm going to be speaking. So what that does for me in particular is it's a trigger that, like, hey, you're going to need to be on and you might want to take a shower. So for me, it's super helpful. And a lot of times we'll even write Lauren Speaks in front of it just so that I have a really quick week at a glance. I know what's coming up and I can know what to expect. All of these lighter lavender type colors are meetings that I have. So I use Zoom in my business. I work from home, but I meet with a lot of people each and every day on coaching calls or meeting with prospective clients or people on my team. And anytime you see these light lavender, that is most likely going to be some sort of Zoom call, some sort of online call. So by having all of those meetings in the same color, I can visually see when I'll be meeting with people, when I need to make sure that the house is relatively quiet, that my kids are taken care of, and that I need to, again, be more on because I'm going to be client facing. Might want to take a shower, might want to check my hair or not, because as a free mama, we kind of get away with a little bit. But again, that color coding is super helpful. And for me, this purple, this darker purple here is work time. It means that I've got my head down. I have a list of tasks that I'm supposed to be working on. And it is time for me to really be getting things done inside of my business. Now you may see a couple other colors. I've got some red every now and again. That's really just something that maybe won't be on there. Often it's not something that comes up frequently, but when it does, it means that I need to pay attention to it. So it's really red just to get my attention. And you can hardly tell there, but here you can see that this actually is a different color blue. And that's because I am still on a coaching call, but it is not my particular coaching call. And so I have it in a different color. again, just to catch my attention. So think about the categories that you have in your life, in your business. Maybe you want a different color-coded color for each of the members of your family. That would be a really helpful thing for you to try as well. But again, utilize the color coding because it's so incredibly beneficial when it comes to being able to digest the information on your weekly block schedule upon first glance. The next thing that I want to talk to you about when it comes to Google Calendar and managing your schedule is how to get paper things like an invitation that you might receive in the mail, maybe a worksheet or flyer that gets sent home with your child about an event or fundraiser, or even those little business cards that they send you home with at the doctor or the dentist or the chiropractor when you are making another appointment. Now, if you're anything like me, you do not like having a ton of clutter in your life. So a way that I use my Google Calendar is to add specific events so that I can get rid of all of the excess clutter and paperwork, including emails. So you might be getting digital invitations and getting all of this stuff into one place so that you're not trying to, keep a stack of things on the refrigerator or on the kitchen counter, and you're in your mind, you're trying to navigate all of these different areas that all come into this one thing called your schedule on a daily basis. You might not know what you have planned. You might not know what's coming up because you're trying to remember it all in your head. And one of the ways that I use Google Calendar is to put all of that paper information or even the emails that I'm getting and put them directly into one place where not only can I see them, but the members of my family can too. So as you can see here, my family was recently invited to the precious Samantha's 6th birthday party this weekend. What's so great is that this actually came through via an Evite. It's amazing. It's electronic anyway. It's how so many people are planning and communicating their events these days anyway. And you have the ability with one click of a button to add that information into your Google Calendar. You often see add to iCal, add to Google Cal, and just by clicking that button, you can get it to go ahead and fill. Now, what doesn't come over is the color coding. So I would just go inside of this actual event. I can edit it. And then I can go into this box right here. I can make it yellow so that I know that this is in fact a family event. And then I can hit save and voila, we know that that is a family event this Saturday, and it all happened within a matter of seconds. Now, if we pop back into this birthday party, for example, I want to show you how even the small details inside of Google Calendar are so helpful. Now, back to Sweet Samantha's 6th birthday party. It's at a place I've never even heard of, let alone been to. But through Google Calendar, you have the ability to put a location for all of your events. Now, this is helpful for me, not just for places that I would have to look up in maps on my phone and find out how to get there, whereas now I can just go inside my calendar and click that button and it's automatically going to provide the directions to get me to this birthday party. But when I'm sharing events with other guests, and I'll show you how to do that here in just a minute, I can also put virtual locations. So again, I use Zoom in my business for video conferencing, and I can make sure that when I send an appointment to someone, it pre-fills with the location of my Zoom room address. Now, if we pop back out here to my calendar and we go into an event like this, so this is, as you can see, anything up here is an all-day event, meaning it's kind of generic. It's not necessarily a form of time blocking because it's not assigned to a particular time, meaning at that time, this is the thing that I'm supposed to be working on. For me, this is kind of where I drag and drop this work time. This is something that I utilize the details section of for my Daily 5. Now, if you're not familiar with the Daily 5, stick around with me until the end because I will hook you up with a free copy of this amazing productivity planner at the end. But the way that I utilize it is that I actually keep it as an all-day time block. Now, I make sure that this is set to free because if this particular event was set to busy, it would mean that no one else would be able to book an appointment on my calendar for that day. It actually blocks your calendar from other people having access to it through a sharing site like Calendly. But what I love to utilize are the details down here. So in the description of any event, you can add text. Maybe you're getting ready to invite someone and you want to let them know what you'll be talking about, like an agenda. Maybe you are sending something and sharing it with your spouse, or maybe you want to write your list for the grocery store right here inside the description. But I actually keep track of some items that are coming up on my Daily 5 that I have not already assigned to a time block. And it's a great place for me to store information and have it all accessible in one spot. Now, it's no surprise by now that I am a fan of a digital calendar, but I want to hear what's working for you. I would love to know. Do you use a printed calendar or a notepad? Do you use a digital one? What do you love about it? Tell me in the comments below. Clearly, I am partial to the digital calendar, but I want to tell you why I'm such a big fan of Google Calendar and utilizing a digital planner or calendar over a printed one. And there are two primary reasons. And the first has to do with flexibility. Now, with a printed planner, if something changes either in a day or a week or an ongoing schedule and things get moved around, you have to cross it off. Or if you're smart and you use pencil, you still have to erase it, but you can kind of see that smudge. Now, if you have an inner perfectionist like I do, it just kind of drives you crazy. And so having a digital calendar allows you to literally drag and drop the boxes and move them as needed. No big deal. You can reschedule recurring things, no big deal. And it's easy to share that information and invite other people along with you to be notified of those changes automatically. The other reason I'm a huge fan of Google Calendar and utilizing a digital way to plan your schedule and block your time has to do with integrations. Now, if you've been following along with me for a while, you know that I'm a huge fan of outsourcing, automation, and basically just protecting my time. Why? So that I have more of it to spend with my family. The great thing about Google Calendar is that you can integrate it with a lot of different apps out there, most of which are free, that allow you to save a lot of time going back and forth with people. One example of that would be the birthday party invitation that you saw earlier. Came from Evite. I clicked a button, it added to my calendar, I changed the color, voila, it's there. And if I get any other notifications about it, I can just put that information right there in the description. I already mentioned a couple of my other favorite apps that integrate with Google Calendar, specifically Calendly, which is an automatic scheduling software. You can use this in business, personal life, anything you need to do. It is a way to avoid the back and forth of trying to come up with a time that you and the person you're trying to meet with are available. And the great thing about Calendly is when you sync it to your Google Calendar and the other person finds a time that works on their schedule to meet with you, it automatically shows up in your calendar. Poof. Another app that I use that I have integrated with Google Calendar is Zoom. So let's say I want to book a call this Saturday and I'm going to invite a friend to it. I go into the description, and because I have this integrated with Zoom, I would literally just click this button. It is going to create all of the Zoom room information for that online conferencing software. It's going to give them all the information here. And all I would need to do to add my friend is enter their contact information right here. And as soon as I hit save, it sends. And we're all on the same page. The last thing that I want to say about Google Calendar and one of its amazing features is that you can actually share different calendars within your Google Calendar. If you take a look over here at My Calendars, you actually have the ability to invite other people to your calendar so that they can view everything that you view within that calendar. You can also be invited to someone else's calendar. So for example, if I were to click over here on these little dots right here and go to settings and sharing, you can actually see that my entire team is invited to view my calendar. There's so many different settings over here that you can access and make sure that you and your family or your clients are all on the same page. And by toggling them off and on, you have the ability to not overwhelm yourself or allow yourself to feel overbooked while still accessing the information that you need. Now, again, you need to figure out what works best for you. There are lots of online and paper resources, but if you take one thing away from this, make it this: map out your day in advance. Because if you're not using your calendar and it's not on there, probably not going to happen. And now you have a glimpse into my weekly block schedule and how using Google Calendar to block my time helps me and my family get more done. If you are struggling with managing your time, staying on track, or getting stuff done, you'll want to grab my productivity tool called the Daily 5. I mentioned it earlier, and remember, the Daily 5 is the exact tool I used to quit my job, start working from home, and spend more quality time with my kiddos. It's also been downloaded by tens of thousands of moms who are less stressed and less guilty, and now you can download it for free right now using the link below. Also, if you want to join a community of mamas just like you, I have a Facebook group where thousands of mamas come together for support and action-taking tips and motivation. As always, if you liked this video, please let me know by liking it below, subscribe and share it with your fellow mamas, and comment below if this video helped you block your schedule like a free mama. Created with calendar that you can help. Oh my gosh, that's I guess not what this is called. You will want to grab my productivity quote. Also, no clue. Go for it. Boop, boop.